This tech tip will cover the two types of data grid representations available in ATI's Vision Data Analyzer software version 3.6 and beyond. The first is the local data grid, and the second is data grid page. Both data grid types are like the data grid view in Vision, showing numeric data versus time in a grid format. The data grid page works independently, and items need to be added individually to populate the page. The local data grid is hidden by default, but when enabled, displays locally for each page type. To enable and view the local data grid, select Page in the menu bar and click Show Local Data Grid, or right-click the tab at the bottom of the page and select Show Local Data Grid. The data grid will show on the bottom of the page if it was enabled and display columns for the visible traces in the graph. It will also create hidden items for all other traces listed in the legend. Hidden items can be selected for viewing via Column Chooser. To view hidden columns in a data grid, right-click the top of an existing column and select Show Column Chooser. In the Column Chooser dialog, select and deselect a column to be viewed or hidden. Items added to the data grid after the initial enabling will display independently of the graph or legend. In addition, legend items added will display independently of the data grid. Items can be dragged and dropped into the data grid from the legend and/or data items list. There are many ways to manipulate a data grid. A data grid border can be adjusted up and down via grabbing between graph or legend and the data grid for a different view. Here, a questionable section of trace is denoted by yellow lines. This can be spotted in a graph and/or trace overview bar, signifying it may require investigation. Some information can be found via expanding and zooming in to find values on the graph or scrolling the data grid for anomalies. However, moving cursors to outline an area of interest can speed up the process. Cursor placement highlights the area of interest on the data grid. This allows for quick viewing of information in targeted areas. How to add a data grid page. To add a data grid page, right-click on the tab of the page name located at the bottom of the page and select Add Page. Then click Add Data Grid Page. The data grid page works independently, and items need to be added individually to populate the page. How to add items to the data grid page. On the data grid page, select Add Items. In the Add Items to Data Grid dialog, select Items of Interest and either double-click or press Add. To remove items, select desired items under Display Name, then select Remove. Finally, click OK to close dialog. Several items can be selected or deselected using the Show Column Chooser to display items of immediate interest. Items can also be dragged and dropped from the data items list to the columns area for viewing.